But listen, I got some things on my mind. And usually I'll say, I won't hold you up long. Well, today, I'm going to give you a run for your money. That's if you want to chime in. Or you go out to later when you get off work or whenever. But it's been on this subject, this particular subject has been on my mind. It's been on my mind since I actually got clean and sober. Okay. If you see a little smoke blowing, that's my incense in the background. I got an incense going. It's good vibes. It's good energy. And but this subject has been on my mind since I got clean and sober. First of all, because I noticed that my getting clean and sober didn't solve problems like or shall I say relationship problems that I thought that it would. I thought if when I got clean and sober, that it was going to bring me closer, well, back to where my relationship was before the drugs was involved with my children. So I thought that, you know, after years of drugging and allowing my children to see me in that mind frame, that state of mind, that warpedness, that messed up world, you know, in the beginning it wasn't that way. I didn't let them see I hid it, and then it become unhideable eventually. It just, it shows. And so, I, I magically thought, I didn't think, first of all, that um, a child could be, you know what, I'm going to go back some, because in the mind frame I was in, I didn't see that I was doing any trauma to my children. And the reason why I didn't see it is because I felt all the other things that I was doing was making up for my drug behavior, my bad behavior with drugs. So I thought, cuddling with them and just loving on them all the time, just showing them how much I loved them, telling them how much I loved them, praying with them, on my bad days, on good days, crying with them, giving them my all, my everything, my, undivided attention, except for when I was slipping away and doing my dirty deeds with the drugs. Making sure they had breakfast, lunch, and dinner, serving them breakfast in bed. The majority of the time, my kids ate breakfast in bed. My boys actually was getting served breakfast in bed past the age of 18. Okay, I cleaned their rooms. Okay, my youngest boys, my three youngest, were not actually, they actually weren't used to cleaning their own rooms, because I cleaned them even when they got up in high school. So, I just loved, if you want to call it serving, my children. I loved doing that for my children. My oldest three children, they got great treatment as well. When we talk about it today, and let them tell it I was the butcher, the north, south, east, and west. But I I don't see what they're talking about. I remember loving on them, telling them how much I loved them, being there for them, making sure they were clothed, fed, bathed, making sure they lived under a clean roof, making sure they got to their doctor's appointments, making sure they got to school, making sure they had the things they needed when school started, making sure that they knew that I was there for them, I care for them, I love them, and I would always be there for them. That's what I see. Okay? So what if you had to clean a little bit? That's really the problem, because I did not make them clean. I did not make them clean. I did, and if I did, it wasn't nothing worth anything. Nothing that was going to kill them or break their backs. My oldest son, he just took to cleaning when he was 3 years old. He cleans better than my daughters. So, he's been just a clean person all his life. He would follow me around the house as I was cleaning, and he's cleaning right behind me. So right today, his house is spotless all the time. But back to what I was saying is, I did not see the trauma of my drug use affecting my children, because I thought that I was compensating that by doing all the other things. I prayed over my children while they were sleeping, from babies on up. Even in my drug use, I prayed even harder, okay? Because I knew that, I always knew I was in the wrong for doing what I was doing. So I harbored a lot of guilt. You know what I'm saying? That's why I overly extended myself to my children, overly loved them, overly worried about them. I couldn't think straight when my kids were out of my sight. Because I was a very overprotective mother, and that's another story. Okay, one of my sons, really, really went off on me when he turned 18, and said I'm the reason why he don't know the world. And yeah, you know what? I could be. I admit it. I must. Yes, it was very hard for me to admit it, but I just could not let my kids run the streets. I did not want my kids with Aunt Tom and Harry. I just did not. I felt, because I was a single mom, that I had no man to help me protect my kids. So that means I have to overly do it, because I'm doing a woman's and a man's job. So I can't take a chance, even though something could have happened in the house. They could have got hurt. They could have just dropped, dead in the house or anything. But I would have felt so guilty if I let my kids roam the streets, just go spending the night anywhere. My girls, my boy, I was even more protective. I was just as protective over my boys as I was my girls. Okay? Listen, I went 10 years without a man in my life. First, I went 7. Okay? Because that's another story. But I went 7 and didn't mind it, loved it. But I refused to bring a man around my kids. Okay? If the man wasn't there that was supposed to be there, then no man was going to be there. I don't trust you. Okay? You're not coming in here around my children. More so, I can't see myself spreading myself around the world. Okay? So I went 7 years celibate. Okay? So my boy's father came. He ended up going back out again. So I went another 10 years celibate. And I'm going to tell you something, ladies. Those was the best years of my life. Okay? I went to bed happy and I woke up happy. People used to ask me, you don't need no man? No, I got one. Jesus. Hallelujah. I got one. No, I don't need no man. Thank you very much. God is taking care of that one. Okay? If he see fit for someone to come into my life, then he's going to put them in the right place at the right time. And that's the way I looked at it. And I went to sleep on it. Okay? Like a baby. And woke up like an angel. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So, however, the fact remaining, yes, I was on drugs. But no, your mama wasn't no hoe. Okay? You should be grateful, thankful that I was a good mother to you. I never left you. I was there for you regardless to if I was in my mess. Okay? And right now today, I barely see any of my children. I barely see any of my children. And I was the type of mother that togetherness meant everything. It means everything to me. And yes, I know children move away. Children get their own lives. They get in relationships. Their life is moving on. They have kids. They got this going on. They got work. They got that. Listen, let me tell you something. One thing about it, two things for sure. You do not hold grudges amongst siblings. You try to work it. Listen, even if you got to ease back into it, that's what you do. You don't just keep sitting around saying, well, they ain't saying nothing to me. They ain't talking to me. Well, they ain't called me. Well, you know what? It's going to come a time that you're not going to be able to do any of it. Okay? And you're going to reap what you sow. So, listen. I don't understand how or why it's so hard for people to let go and let God work through your life. I started this video because for so many years, it's been 13 years. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. No, I don't know the month that I put the pipe down. No, I don't. I couldn't tell you that. And guess what? I don't care. Why? Because only thing that mattered to me is I put it down. Okay? I can tell you it was 13 years ago. Okay, coming up on 14. But I can't tell you the exact month and day. Okay? Just know. I laid it away. So when I laid it away, I don't care what day it was. It's back there. Okay? But however, the first 3 years is when the change started. I started to notice that I already have issues with people. I had a light even when I was getting high. I had a light. It wasn't that bright, but it was a light before I started getting high. I had goodness in here. Okay? And when God did what he did for me, all it did was just opened it up and brightened it up. You see that? That's what it did. And so, as the first 3 years is when I started noticing how people really couldn't understand the change. They didn't believe. They didn't, you know what? They believed it because they seen it. They didn't want to accept it because they were so used to seeing that dimmed light. that light that they thought was finna go out. The light that I had left in me, that was the light that I was fighting with, fighting for, fighting to keep lit. Okay, that's why it had never went out, but I already had the light in me. Okay, I used to pray while I was getting high, asking God, when is it going to happen? When is it going to take it away? When is it going to stop? Okay, yes, I did it. And I know I've heard people say you shouldn't pray while you get. Yes, you should. That's the main time you should pray. Okay, and that's why he did it for me. Okay, because I prayed on my good days. I prayed on my bad days. I prayed on my off days. I prayed on my worst days. I prayed every day, day in, day out. Okay, as I was headed to go get it, I was praying. Lord, I just know you're going to do it for me tonight. You're going to do it for me tomorrow. I just know it's coming. I just know that sobriety is on its way. I just know one day I am going to put it down, and I'm going to put it down for good because you're going to help me. That's where my faith was. Every day. Every day. And so I thought that was going to be enough. I thought me putting that down was going to be enough. I thought that was going to be the it. But more problems came with that. More envy, more hate, more lying, more crying. It all came. And some days I had to ask myself, Lord, is it really worth going through this? Should I just go back to doing or being the way that I was? Would that make people happy? I was in the mind frame of all I could think about was making other folks happy, while I was getting more and more miserable on the inside, even though I was clean. I was still feeling guilty because I was being made to feel guilty by my kids and others around. Now, it's really effed up if your kids make you feel guilty. They don't see the change in you. They see what they seen back then. They steadily look, some of them, not all of my kids, but a couple of them was steadily looking for that to come back. Almost kind of made me feel like they wanted it back. Because I sure didn't get too many props that I did it. That God did what he said he was going to do. And then all I get is, I don't even get a phone call after TV. Most of the time, I just got done. What made me want to just get it out of me, because I've been wanting to. I've been wanting to. What really made me want to get it out of me is I was laying in my bed, and this video just popped up from YouTube on my phone. I was actually on YouTube. And it was this old lady, she was 100 years old. I couldn't tell, but she looked great for her age. And she was telling a story about how she ended up spending her 100th birthday all alone, waiting on a call from her children, waiting to get a message or something from her children for her birthday. I said, well, you really shouldn't. I mean, listen, I was ashamed to admit it. I was ashamed to say it, because sometimes you don't want people to really know how you're being treated by your children. You know, there's a lot more people out there dealing with the same thing I'm dealing with. Just like the old lady said. None of her children picked up the phone to call her on her 100th birthday. But as she told the story, at the age of 97 is when she realized, oh well, I can't worry about that no more. I'm getting up in age to where I don't have the time nor the energy to keep reaching out to nobody that don't have a minute or two to call me. Okay? I just don't care anymore. I can love you hard, hot, and heavy from a distance. If that is the way that you want it, that is the way you can have it. Okay? This goes for anybody. I just ain't in the business of kissing no ass. Okay? I'm not gonna do it. But she realized that she was tired of trying to make it work because they're my children. They're your children. Yes, I had them. Yes, I loved them more than life. I won't say more than God, but I love them more than life. And right now today, if one of them called me and say, "Ma, I need you," guess where I'll be? As quick as I can get there. But at the end of the day, I've come to realize your children is something, and this is not for all parents, because I'm gonna tell you, I've seen parents that have very, very concerned children about them, very affectionate children towards them, children that come around to see them, to spend time with them. They make a way out of no way. Okay, they can call their children and just, listen. I I I didn't make this video to upset anyone. I actually reached out to my oldest daughter, letting her know that I was going to do it. I actually feel lighter because I'm sick of biting my tongue. I made a video, it's been a while ago. I made that video and I said, over the years I began to stutter. And I couldn't understand why I was stuttering, but now I understand why I was stuttering. Because I was trying to find lighter words to say instead of just keeping it absolutely real. I will not be inserting myself in people's lives, in their ways, if I'm not wanted. I just will not be reaching out to anyone. I'm just in that space now. I just don't have to do it. And when this ain't just occurred, this has begun within that first 3 years of getting clean. I got tired of trying to be a people pleaser. I got tired of catering to my children to get along, feeling guilty because of my past. As I said, they could be cruel, okay? And they were, and I still feel that A couple are. Okay? How, you know, I've been disrespected. Okay, I know, and another thing, let me tell you, I used to be that person. I used to be that person when I was young, in my teenage years, and in my early to late 20s. You couldn't get an apology out of me to save my life. Who gonna apologize? Not me. Even though I realized that I was wrong, I realized that things weren't the way I thought they were. I realized that I needed to change my ways, but I continued on until my late 30s. I started seeing things differently. I started really understanding what God mean by togetherness. Even though I was still in my mess, my my connection with God just started getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So I started realizing to let go and let God, and it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to apologize for it. It's okay to forgive. It's okay to let go. Put it on the back burner. Let it sizzle. Let it go. Okay, and move forward. But I will not allow anyone to try and steal my peace by having an anger towards me that you don't even know what it is. What is you hanging on to? What is it that you can't let go? That every time it's always something. I'm always the bad guy in everything. I've been the bad guy in my immediate family. I've been the bad guy throughout the whole family. I've been the bad guy, the bad guy, the bad guy. There's always mook. Mook this, mook that, mook this, mook that. This is how it's done piped down a whole lot since we've been losing a lot of people. We've been losing a lot of people. It's very sad to say. But it's done pipe, my name done pipe down a whole lot. But it was always, I'm the corporate. Everything wants to be put on me. Even my kids used to do that. Okay? They'll believe somebody else before they believe me. So, like I said, and then to top it off, my three youngest ones, as they were growing up, they were just absolutely lazy. Absolutely lazy. I mean, they had gotten so used to me doing everything for them till it was hell to tell the captain to get them to do anything. I'm just being honest. It seemed like their whole lives I had to be on them. When I finally got tired of cleaning their rooms and all that stuff, it was 24/7. 24/7. Okay? Be cautious of, you can spoil your children, but discipline them too. Discipline them all at the same time. They didn't get any discipline. They didn't get spankings. They didn't get nothing. And I tell you, I paid for it. Okay? I paid for it. So, with that being said, I'm just not going to be that person anymore. That person that you can make cry, get upset quick, feel guilty. When I stopped being that person, My oldest son, he got angry. He kind of got angry. He got, he felt as if I didn't give a damn anymore. Well, I did. I didn't, because you don't listen to me anyway. You're gonna do what you want to do anyway. You're gonna think what you want to think anyway. You're gonna act the way you want to act anyway. So why should I? It felt like I just, because I was constantly, worried about him. Then they tell me, you don't worry, you ain't got to worry about me. You ain't got. How you going to tell a mother that? You might as well just, a real mother, how would you, I don't understand what they be thinking. I really don't. Yeah, you got a lot of mothers that stop early on caring or worrying. Okay, and some that never care or worry at all. But then you got the ones that, like me, that just can't stop worrying, can't stop caring. Can't think straight if you're gone too long. Can't sleep right if you ain't at home. This went on for years, and I still worry about my kids. I just don't worry about them as much. A whole lot. Like I don't worry. Because I know that God is with them. He's going to do what He feel He needs to do to keep them. And so, as long as I continue praying and stress it to Him that I will love for my children to be here for many more years to come, to see their children be here for many more years to come, I will love that. So that's what I pray for. And I pray for everybody in that aspect. But what I can't understand is why everybody holds me accountable for everything that's going on in their lives, or going on around them, or just why they want to be so damn nasty to me all the time. It ain't just, you know, it's even with my nieces and nephews. I'm just going to keep it real. I just ain't going to lie anymore. Okay? I mean, I just can't understand. I don't understand where the love, the I just can't understand it. I'm totally lost for words about how my family could have went from sugar to pretty much shit. Okay? And I don't mean that in no negative way. I just mean that there's really nobody there. It shouldn't be groups. You see what I'm saying? It shouldn't be just certain people. It don't matter with the small amount of people that we have right now. I mean, we have more, but I'm talking about in our city. With the small amount of people that we have, it should never be in groups. It should have never been that way in the first place, no matter how old or how young you are. It is really just, it feels like it's just certain people, that, I don't know, but, I'm just going to keep praying. I'm just going to keep praying for my children. Like I said, I don't even get a chance to see my grandchildren. My son that lives in Atlanta, him and his girlfriend up and moved to Atlanta and didn't even tell me that the hell they was gone. Okay? They didn't tell me they was gone till they was halfway there. Called. Okay, and my granddaughter was only, I think, like maybe, I don't even think she was 3 months. So I only got to hold her, maybe twice? 3 times? Maybe three times? I only got to smell her about 3 times. Okay, hold her. and now they're gone. Okay, haven't been back to visit or nothing else since they've been gone. Okay, I FaceTime and stuff with her and stuff like that, but it's nothing like being able to touch your grandchildren, And then my oldest son, he used to bring his sons over all the time. I barely see him. He, I don't know I don't know what's going on that way either. I just I don't know. I don't even see them anymore. He, you know, will call and invite me over. He hasn't done that. I know he's been busy with his things he's got going on and stuff, but yeah, I just don't worry about him anymore. I just remember. I just have my memories. If they know if they call me, that I'll be there. And and then my son in New Jersey, he and his family, he just had a new baby, and I haven't even got I seen pictures of her, but I haven't got a chance to see her. So I guess they're supposed to be here because they're actually moving. But um, yeah. So I don't know. I just didn't think that my years would be like this. I always thought that no matter what, that even if my kids moved out of town, that they would, make it their business to make sure that I see my grandchildren. This is what I always felt and believed, even though it took forever for me to get some grandchildren. I finally got some. Thank you, God. Thank you. But now I barely even see them. My oldest one just graduated. She just graduated, and I got bitched out about that because, her mom didn't want me posting the graduation pictures, so I had to take them down, which, that, as my oldest daughter said, that is her prerogative. If she don't want them posted, oh well, but she seen me taking them, so why wouldn't you tell me then? But anyway, yeah, I stopped. Well, I just stopped worrying about it, and I just stopped letting it get me down. It had me depressed for a long time. It just had me really, really down. I felt like I did all that work for nothing. Only for it to seem as though I was being criticized for not being high. Being beat for not doing what I used to do. It seemed like nobody wanted me around. Still don't really, but that's okay because it's not meant to be. I'm not gonna argue with it. I'm not gonna fight with it. But yeah. So, me personally, I'm no different than who I was already. I just don't get high. That's it. I am the same sweet, giving person that I was before. And despite who sees me differently, I just don't care anymore. Like I said, if you don't want to be in my life anymore, if you don't want me around, if you just have nothing but nastiness towards me or nasty things to say, or you just want to see me hurt any kind of way or down and out, just you know what, we just go our separate ways. That's how I feel. That's how I feel for anybody in this family. Anybody in this family, anybody outside the family, anybody. I just don't care to deal with anyone's judgmentalness, or negativity, bad vibes, bad auras. I don't want to deal with it anymore. I just don't. I don't have the time nor the patience. I'm wore out. I've been wore out. And that is why I have released it, and that's where it's going to be. Amen. So, with that being said, God bless you all. I pray you all have a wonderful night, and I pray that your day goes your way. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm out of here. God bless you.